The next step, I think, is like I'm ready to jump into the big boy pool. I'm going to, because to me, it's like if you're doing 17K a week organically through this quiz and the Ask webinar and all of that kind of thing, it's like, it kind of freaks me out and scares me a little bit, is the potential. Imagine I turn paid traffic on. It's like, my goodness. So my YouTube ads actually at the time of recording are going live tomorrow. So I'm like freaking out. But that's the next step. It's like, and I now have the kind of the team in place. I've got a few people working for me. I've got the infrastructure in place, all the systems in place, everything in the business is automated. I'm having a baby in 10 weeks today, so everything is automated now, so that I don't actually have to be in the middle of things. And essentially going to turn paid traffic on, and I just cannot wait to watch it fly.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Trace Shinneman. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of the Ask Method Company and Bucket.io. And I am very excited today to bring my friend from across the pond. I'm here in Central Tennessee, if you can't tell by my accent, but I've got a guest here today that we are going to learn a lot about her business, her funnel, the way that she is creating time freedom for herself and her family, using the power of internet marketing, and some of the strategies that we teach here at the Ask Method Company. So in just a second, I'm going to be bringing on our friend Maeve Ferguson to let her tell a little bit about her story. Maeve is awesome. She's a mom, she's a podcaster, she's a course creator, she's a coach. She's done so much in her life. She's got a corporate background. Now she's running her own high-end coaching business. She's helping people all over the world create time freedom for themselves the same way she has for herself. So I'm excited for you all to learn more of her story today. So with that being said, Maeve, I'd love to say hello to you. How are you today?
Hey, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Very, very good. I am really excited for the listeners, the viewers, wherever people are consuming this content, for them to be able to hear just the unique nature of your story, because you've got just an incredible resume and a pedigree from your time kind of working for other people prior to jumping in and working for yourself. And I want them to hear exactly the level of commitment and the process that you've gone through and to get yourself where you are today, because it's pretty special. You've shown a high level of commitment, but it's been through multiple steps. So before we jump into more of like the actual story about how you've built your business and what you're doing online, I'd love for you to share a little bit of your backstory, kind of tell us where you got your start in business and more about you personally.
Thank you so much for having me on. But essentially, I'm from a corporate background. I was an accountant of all things in a past life. I worked in the financial services and private equity industry for a number of years, and literally, like, my career was flying. Life was at an all-time high, traveling the world, running marathons. Then, like, a really long and quite a topical subject cut short, I ended up catching a virus. And I spent about 4 years of my life in bed. So I was in a wheelchair, just like indescribably ill. And like anybody that's been through something like that in life, I remember kind of at the very, very lowest point, sitting on the floor. My then partner, my now husband, was brushing my hair because I literally didn't even have the strength. And I remember kind of vowing in that moment that when I recover from this thing, I swear I'm going to do life differently. So I did. I literally left corporate, left my high-flying corporate job, and started at zero and built my coaching business from there. And I help coaches all around the world to scale their businesses.
So just so everyone knows, obviously it's 2022 now. How long ago was that you made that decision? Well, number one, I'm so happy you recovered. How long ago has that been now?
So I got sick now you're testing me. I got sick in 2014.
Okay.
And so I was, and then a number of years very, very, very ill, and then recovered, then left corporate, and then set up my business. Yeah.
So you didn't just start your business last year. Then you've had a handful of years now that you've been into your business and you recovered and able to get to this. So walk us through what that's been like. So you go from taking off your corporate America hat, where you know I have a similar. I've worked for both institutions and been an entrepreneur myself, so I understand the dynamics of the lifestyles a little bit personally. And it's quite different, you know, when you are trying to figure out how to rub the money together and make it work for yourself. So walk us through just briefly, like, what were the early stages of you trying to figure out this internet thing and doing an online business and becoming a coach to other both male and female entrepreneurs all over the world?
Yeah, so essentially it's like anybody when they start out, you've got this big dream, and then you start to it, and then you're like, oh my goodness, how on earth? It's like the level of ignorance, I think, of it, whenever I look back, was funny. I thought I just had to kind of show up and a business would build itself. So yeah, a lot of blood, sweat and tears in the early years of trying to figure out how to get all of this set up and running. But one thing about myself is I'm pretty tenacious, so I will always figure out a way, and then I figured out a way how to build my business organically. So there was a lot went into it, but yeah, I'm now living the life that I dreamed of back then because of the work that I put in.
As I understand it, then I think LinkedIn is one of your primary channels that you're building a lot of your organic content. But so you're working online, you're building this organic content, you're starting to build your personal brand. And as I understand it, one of our colleagues, she's been a customer of ours. She's also just I don't even know, a savant herself in a lot of ways on building communities and lists online. Amy Porterfield, incredible podcaster, content creator herself. As the best I understand it, Amy was a follower of yours. Like you were following her system and her content. And that was actually how you ultimately got introduced to the Ask Method company, and more importantly, to the Quiz Funnel Masterclass that we teach once a year. Is that right?
Exactly. So I'd been kind of running like what I would call ordinary funnels for a while, organically, all the ordinary lead magnets and that kind of thing. And I'm a big fan of following the big players in your own industry to see what are the big guns doing and why, and try to reverse engineer that. So one of the things that I saw Amy, we're in a similar-ish type niche. So one of the things I saw her having was this quiz. So I was like, my goodness, I didn't really know anything about quizzes back then, but I remember kind of going into it, and I love systems and automation and all of the kind of the back end tech. So I was trying to reverse engineer what she was doing and how, and then finally came across Ryan and the Quiz Funnel Masterclass, etc. And that's how she actually got her quizzes built in the first place. So like always, I'm a big believer in investing in yourself. So I just dived straight in. And yeah, it's just been an absolute dream since.
So you jump in. As best I understand it, it was last year's masterclass. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was just last year. Yeah,
so just last year's masterclass. So you jump in. And I mean, I was looking through some of your funnels myself, and the way I understand it now, you have more than one quiz running right now. You've got, multiple quizzes you've built since you've kind of learned the system that we teach at building quizzes. So, at a high level, what's like one or two benefits so far that you've seen happen in your business just from the, deploying a really well-built quiz on the front end of your funnel?
Yeah, so a brilliant question. And I think for us, it is we have an ascension model of online programs. And one of the things that our other lead magnets weren't doing was that hyper qualification of the appropriate lead going into the appropriate sales mechanism. So what we have been able to do through our quizzes is really strip out and filter out those who should be popping into your high ticket offers and those who should be popping into your low ticket offers. And that has been something that has been really helpful. Instead of having to upsell, downsell all the time, it's just people are just flowing into the right place at the right time.
So for those that might be watching from home, a high ticket or a low ticket offer, for some of us, it's a coined term that we're very familiar with. But just for someone who listens at home, it might be going, I'm in the e-commerce space, or I'm in a different vertical in the coaching space, and you don't have to give too much away, but just how would you nuance the difference between a low ticket and a high ticket offer within your funnel?
Yeah, so for me, my low ticket's kind of less than $1,000. I'm in pounds, obviously, so it's different in dollars, but less than $1,000. And then kind of high ticket is, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and beyond.
Great. Yeah. So you go through this corporate life, you have this very valley experience of, dealing with health, trying to overcome that, being persistent, perseverant to be able to overcome all that situation. You jump in, coming out of that, say, I'm going to change my life. You start a business, you're doing what everyone who I know that's been successful does. And that's, you got to go follow the people that are doing it well and try and, as you said, reverse engineer what they're doing. So you follow the Amy path. The Amy path leads you to Ryan. Ryan leads you to Quiz Funnel Masterclass. You jump in, you do all that, you build some quizzes, you turn it on. And next thing you know, you're getting more qualified leads that are going to better offers, whether those are smaller offers or larger offers in your space. But that's not the only thing you did. I want people to understand the full scope of how committed you were to really making this work. Once you got into the program, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe you also recognized we had a ton of other content and opportunity available, so much so that you ended up joining our coaching program as well.
Yeah.
And from there, you were able to get access to not just the quizzes that we teach, but some of the other content we teach around actually making your offer, or how you run your webinars or your workshops using things like Zoom, like what we're on right now, to be able to create a one-to-many approach instead of a one-to-one approach with selling. So talk me a little bit more about the journey that you and the experience you've had kind of post Masterclass as you jumped into further relationship with Ask Method and you sort of scale your business up from there.
Yeah, so for me, it was just kind of about, a couple of days into the Quiz Funnel Masterclass, I was just like, whatever they're selling in the back end, I'm in, because it was one of the things that really, really attracted me. It was like the concentration on data and looking at like actually analyzing stuff and what's working and what's not, and then building your business on that rather than just how you feel or how you think things are going. So I dived straight into the coaching program. Absolutely amazing. And just completely, I'm a bit of a binge watcher and implementer. So I literally just dived in and absolutely devoured the majority of the content, I think, very, very, very quickly. But it's so important, as you know, is not just to learn something, you actually have to implement it if you want to get results. So we literally just chucked a lot of stuff in the dustbin, rebuilt all our webinars, started like a weekly live webinar process. So we run like a live webinar twice every Thursday, and just got into the most beautiful flow of sales coming in every single week, because we were just in this routine of running the live webinar off the back of our quizzes. So what I call the quizzes, we're literally funneling brand new leads in every single week onto the live webinar, become clients, and then next week it was just go again.
Yeah. So and for those who might be unfamiliar with the way these things can fit together. So some of my background as a marketer by trade has been in marketing digital products. So SaaS products or subscription products, apps, things of that nature. And in that space, we often talk about finding what's called product market fit, where basically you've built a product that's so rich in its consumer experience that most of the users of the product, if asked if they would be disappointed if that product went away, they would say I would be very disappointed if this product went away. We call that finding product market fit. In some ways, I like to say within the Quiz Funnel Masterclass and with what we teach in our coaching program, we actually help people uncover market product fit. And what I mean by that is, in the way that you talked about the bucketing that you saw happening within our quizzes that we teach, essentially what happens is you're actually able to see what it is how people self-identify, the words they use about their own problems, the way that they talk about the solutions that they're needing. And you can actually now custom craft solutions that literally marry those felt needs that the quiz uncovers, which ultimately helps the throughput of the entire funnel and drives conversion rates up and sales up and so on and so forth. So even on, what some would consider smaller numbers, if your conversion rate is going up though, and you have reasonable offers that are both low ticket and high ticket, you can actually create a fair amount of success pretty quickly off of the back of a system like that. And so I'd love for everyone that's listening to hear, what you're willing to share. Like, walk us through, what's like a good week been like for you so far off that system? Like, is it 10% conversion rate? If you had 80% conversion rate, just help them understand what's been possible for you ever since you've instituted this program.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things I'd like to touch on. For me, there was a very, very early proof of concept. So I think it was like the third person through my quiz after I launched it. I was away at my brother's wedding through my quiz. So like automated organic onto my quiz, onto an automated webinar back then, and onto then a call with my program advisors and a high ticket sale of like $7,500 on the third person through this thing. And I was just wait
a second.
My brain was like,
the third quiz taker, and you got over $7,000 sale off the third person to take the quiz. That's crazy. All right. What happened from there? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so then it was like, so back then it was kind of, I was testing a lot of different, a lot of quizzes running, testing different hooks and different questions and the performance of each quiz and how many people would actually get to the webinar. Then I flipped into doing the weekly live webinars because I got a little bit of childcare sorted to look after my baby, so I could actually go live. So that was cool. And then essentially there, like my best result ever, I don't think you can do much better than 100% conversion.
No, you can't. As somebody who's been in the game a long time, you cannot. So that's
yeah.
Have you had 100% conversion happen at some point in this funnel?
Yeah. So 100% conversion on, it was actually 2 weeks back to back. 1 week was my high ticket offer, 1 week was my low ticket offer. And basically everybody that was on purchased and, joined the program. And it's like, for me, again, it's like the possibility, and that you know yourself what webinar show up rates are like online, and we hear all these stories about, oh, webinars are dead and all of these kinds of things. It's like, when they're done right, and this is like following the ask framework, is like, when they're done right, they're unbelievably powerful. And
Listen, I'm no mathematician. I'm no mathematician, Maeve, but I can tell you right now, you get 100% conversion rate on anything, success is in your future. I mean, even if you're selling widgets, just knowing that you've dialed the front end and the offer end so well that you can close 100% is profound. And that gives you the space to be able to start to iterate from there, to go, okay, well, let's turn the traffic up a little bit. Obviously, if I'm getting 100% conversion rate, I'm probably not messing with the offer all that much, but I can start to turn the traffic up a little bit. I know you predominantly live and breathe organic traffic, as you said on the front. So you're creating content, doing content marketing, so on and so forth. So now that you've got your sort of evergreen established system running, just give us some ideas of like where your business brain is going now, on some things that you're starting to do from this to the next step.
Yeah, so the next step, I think, is like, I'm ready to jump into the big boy pool. I'm going to, because to me, it's like, if you're doing 17K a week organically through this quiz and the ask webinar and all of that kind of thing, it's like, it kind of freaks me out and scares me a little bit, is the potential. Imagine I turn paid traffic on. It's like, my goodness. So my YouTube ads, actually, at the time of recording, are going live tomorrow. So I'm like freaking out. But that's the next step. It's like, and I now have the kind of the team in place. I've got a few people working for me. I've got the infrastructure in place, all the systems in place. Everything in the business is automated. I'm having a baby in 10 weeks today, so everything is automated now, so that I don't actually have to be in the middle of things. And essentially, going to turn paid traffic on, and I just cannot wait to watch it fly.
So a few years ago, you dreamt it. Yep. And then you spoke it, and you started it. Yep. Now you've built it, and now you get to scale it. Now you get to step into what multi-channel traffic strategy can really do for a business. When you've got a good core funnel running with that awesome quiz on the front end that's driving very qualified, very affordable leads through it, with paired with an incredible offer that you can deliver on, so you can drive great customer satisfaction and recommendations and all the things that come with building a growing, thriving business, where you start to develop people out there that are talking about how great their experience is with you. All that does is make the leads on the front end get cheaper and more qualified again. So you're building it all. I mean, just in a few short years, you took that step, and now you're here building the business. I'm super encouraged by you. You're mom of one now, right? And you just said you're having another
in a few weeks.
Incredible. I got to step my game up. I'm feeling challenged here that I even have to work more on myself. So with that being said, what would you say to maybe another mom or somebody that's had that dream sort of pent up inside of them for some time now, and has thought about having their own business, or maybe they have a business now and they're like, I just feel like, if more people knew about my offer, if more people knew about my service, I think there's really something here. Like, how would you encourage them based on your own set of experiences?
Yeah, I think being an entrepreneur, I think there's something inside you that makes you different from what I call normal people. And it's like, it's like indescribable unless you know what it feels like. So if you're that person who has that, that desire for more and that want for more, and the status quo just isn't enough, and you want to live life, to me, everything now after recovering from illness, it's like life on my terms. This is how I want it. I want to be here with my baby. I want to run this business. I want it all to be automated, systemized. I want it to scale. And it's like, if you want to live life on your terms and not be kind of in that corporate thing, and that kind of tied to that, and you know that you've something inside yourself that makes you a little bit different to other people. And no matter what your dream is, like, I look back now, and I didn't even know what a funnel was when I left corporate. Like, let's be honest, I didn't, you don't have a clue really. But it's like, you don't necessarily know where you're going to end up, but if you have that feeling inside of you that you're meant for more, that you're meant to change lives all around the world, even if you don't quite yet know how or why or how it all works, it's like, just go for it. And this methodology is just, to me, the way I would describe it is just flawless. It is the most beautiful. Once you get that machine, you have to work to build the damn thing. Once you've built that machine, I mean, it can fly.
Yeah. Maeve, I'm not sure I'd want to be normal if I knew a $17,000 week was possible. I'm just being honest. So I think the specificity with which you just spoke about, listen, it's not that there's not work here. There is work here, but it's all about the system that you build for yourself, the people that you trust, the people that you follow, sticking with it, persevering, putting in the work, and big things are possible. And, we love your story. I love your story. It's inspiring to me. I've been in the business now 13, 14 years of building things online. One of the biggest things I convinced myself, I was talking to somebody I'm mentoring the other day, and I said, look, I'm over 30,000 hours into this craft right now. And I still feel like it's going to take 30,000 more for me to really become a master of this. So just hear me say, as somebody who's maybe even further down the path a little bit from a tactical standpoint, we always have tons to learn. And that's why I love being connected to the Ask Method company, because we have spent the time building the programs and the systems, teaching people how to use quizzes, the rest of our success path, everything that we teach to be able to start building the business of their dreams online and then eventually scale it so that they can ultimately have what they want, which is freedom. And I genuinely thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. You have a business to run, you're a mom, for spending a few minutes with me today, because I feel like your story is one that needs to be heard. And I'm so happy that we got to tell it today. And, on the page below in the show notes or wherever you're consuming this content, I'm going to make sure that there are links there so you can go and see some of the stuff that Maeve's built so you can understand her business better. And obviously, if you are interested more, we do have an upcoming Quiz Funnel Masterclass. The one for this year, we do it once a year. It's a huge event. There's seats coming up. As a matter of fact, next week, we actually are going to be doing a Quiz Funnel workshop. In the coming weeks, we're going to be doing a Quiz Funnel workshop, which we'd love to invite you to. And that's a great way for you to sort of dip your toe in and figure out exactly what this quiz thing is all about and start to get your funnel built. So look for more information about that below. Maeve, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really enjoyed it.
It's been an amazing experience being in Ask, I have to say. Amazing.
Okay. Well, all right, you guys, thanks so much for watching.